there have been 2 TV spots. And a TV spot is basically kind of like a mini trailer or a montage of clips that's shown as a commercial on television. And in these TV spots, we've actually gotten some new scenes. So I figured we could just sort of discuss for a little bit each new scene. I made a list. I don't know if I remembered every new scene, so if we get to the end of my list and there are some that I forgot, we can talk about those. So first new scene was Katniss shooting the arrow through the apple in the pig's mouth. I was personally surprised that they showed this because to me in the books that's such a shocker moment. What did you guys think? Were you surprised that they revealed this in the TV spot?
I'm still too mad that I didn't get to see it when I watched Survivor.
I don't think that they showed it here either. I feel like I would have noticed it coming on and I didn't. So I don't know if it was shown nationally, which is sort of bizarre.
I don't think it was either because if you think about it, it didn't come across Twitter until it would have aired in, say, Pacific time. So my guess, it must have been a localized, a more local or a time zone related event than, because it must not have been attached to the TV show in particular. So.
Yeah, I think that you're probably right. Crystal, since you are a expert cook, what is your assessment of the roasted pig? Because it looks really weird to me.
Well, did you see in the book the illustrated companion? There's a full spread of the picture of the pig in the illustrated companion.
It looks really weird to me. It looks like something out of a bizarre party in the 70s.
Yeah, they put eyelashes on it.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, eyelashes, that's right.
What kind of pig is that?
I don't know.
The capital.
It's a mutt. It's a mutt.
Perri, since you're a cinema expert, and I know that you know a lot about trailers and TV spots and things like that, do you think it was a surprising choice for them to reveal that scene in a TV spot?
I'm having a tough time picking that TV spot apart at all because I definitely think it was a local release. Otherwise, it would be all over YouTube and on all of the movie blog sites. But the only place I can find that on the internet is on YouTube, and it's videos of people watching it on their TV. So I've yet to get a close enough look to actually judge what the pig looks like it's made out of and things like that. But as far as the TV spot goes, the whole scene plays out really quick, and it's a smart move to go with something like that for a TV spot. You only have 30 seconds, and you got to do something to make a point.
Right.
Yeah, not to evoke another Hawaiian comparison.
Oh, God.
It actually reminded me of the pig in Forgetting Sarah Marshall that they brought out there. Do y'all remember that? When they had the luau? No? Am I the only one who's seen that?
No, I've seen it, but no.
I still remember a pig.
Oh, there was that whole sequence where he actually had to help prepare it, and he was carrying this huge pig on a stake, and my brother was getting sick because he's a vegetarian and doesn't like to eat animals. But anyway, okay. Apparently that's just for me. Maybe some of our listeners will know what I'm talking. Thank you. Some people in our chat room know what I'm saying. I feel slightly validated. But I did want to say that as far as animals are concerned, I have no doubt that Noah harmed in the process of making that scene. Is that a fair thing to say?
Well, I think that's a real pig, but it was probably purchased already dead.
Oh, lovely thought.
I don't know. Do we have an expert culinary opinion on this? No.
I have a culinary nightmare story. When I was in high school, I worked at a gourmet deli/market/catering place, and they were catering a luau-themed party, and I showed up to work, and I had to go into the freezer to get, like, baguettes or something, and I opened up the door, and, like, like right in front of me in the freezer was, like, this full-sized pig, and it was, like, propped up, and it was just staring me in the face, and it was one of the most terrifying things that I've ever seen. Maybe that's why I stopped eating meat. That's not actually why, but that was like a horrific moment in my life.
Do you remember that Survivor challenge? Not like maybe like a couple seasons ago. Whenever I see a roast pig, I think of that one. You know, the one where they had to bite the meat off of the roast.
Yes, that was
pig. That was so
nauseating. I thought that was grosser than any of the bug eating and stuff that's occurred on other seasons of Survivor. That was just repulsive.
That was nasty.
Anyway, and before we move on, my last comment, I hope that everyone has taken a look at Capital Couture lately, because there's an etiquette guide up. I think it's Effie's etiquette guide, and there are diagrams on, like, proper table manners and stuff, and it's really funny. That just made me think of it. Okay, next scene that I have written down, and I'm going to get Theresa's thoughts. Actually, we will get Theresa and Shylah's thoughts on this, because I know that they are major PETA lovers. There is a very fast shot of PETA hurling what I'm assuming is a medicine ball, and he's throwing it into I don't even know what. So what is your take on that? What is he throwing? What is he throwing it into? Is that in his private training session? How did you guys sort of break down that, like, 1 second clip?
We need more. I'm thinking that they cut it very distinctly. I know. I think this is another one. I'm hoping this is another one of the cases where they make it look like it's happening somewhere where it's not. Because they show him throwing it, and I'm assuming I'm still not positive what he's throwing it, if it's a wall or what, but I think then they show a reaction shot from the tributes, and it's like and it makes it look like they're there watching him, but that would reading the book, we would know that that's that would give unfair advantage if they all knew what the other person's true special skill was. So I'm hoping that they did that to make it seem like the other tributes were watching them when they're really not. But I don't mind seeing PETA throw stuff. I mean, they can do a long segment of Josh just throwing heavy weights around. That can be like. And if they don't have it in the movie, that should be an extended scene on the DVD, just watching him chuck things around. I think good for that. But
Shylah, what are your thoughts?
I think that might be one of the changes we see in the movie is that assuming that this is like Theresa said, or I guess opposite what she said, if this is honestly what we're seeing and it hasn't been cut to make it look, to make us think we're seeing things that we're not. If the tributes are watching each other's training sessions, I think that's one of those necessary changes, because otherwise we're not going to know. We don't get to be inside Katniss's head. I think if PETA is throwing heavy things in front of the careers, I think that's probably going to give some believability to him joining up with them later.
Yeah.
That might be something they feel like they need to show. And I liked that. It looked like to me, and I was watching a very low-quality version of the commercial, but that PETA threw a medicine ball into spears, and then it looked like it broke Marvel's poor little heart to see them destroyed like that.
Yeah, Marvel looked really shocked.
Yeah, I mean, all of his spears got jacked up. But I think it's going to be interesting if we get to see not only Katniss and PETA, but what Cato does in the arena. I think it'll ramp up the actual fear going in if we get to see everybody's training scores, and then you still have the mystery of, oh my God, what's going to happen? Katniss just shot an arrow at the game makers. I don't think it diminishes that surprise at all. But I think that this might be a change, and I think it'll be cool, because that's one of the reasons I'm excited for the movie, is that we'll get to see the other things that Katniss doesn't really have privy to in the book.